This video is brought to you by hoodbeast.com. Design your own custom hoodies. hoodbeast.com. We are beast.
Yo, what is up guys? It's me, Zackley. Thank you for joining me back on the quest to 200K, hashtag a million a year. You guys already know that you are the real MVP. And you know that we got some things to talk about today, so we're not gonna waste any time. We're just gonna get right into this Lego. As it turns out, the team that Allen Iverson should have been playing for his entire career was this version of the Cleveland Cavaliers right here. With the Cavs struggles and the way they have been playing the majority of this season so far, minus I guess the part where they went on that run where they were beating a bunch of sub 500 teams and looked like they were playing really good basketball, and to their credit, they were during that stretch of time. But like I said, for the majority of the season, that hasn't been the case, which has led us to wonder why. Why have the Cavs been like this, and why haven't they been improving? See, for most teams, when they have problems that they need to fix, like the Cavs have had this year, they will do that in this thing called practice.
Practice, man. What are we talking about? Practice?
That's where they go to work on things, to get better individually and to get better as a unit. For the Cavs though, at least according to Isaiah Thomas, they have a different approach. They just say, forget it. The best practice is the practice that you get in games. Just listen real quick to what Isaiah Thomas had to say about the Cleveland Cavaliers practicing and playing in games. That's the only thing that's gonna help me because we don't practice. Only thing that's gonna help me is getting reps, running up and down the floor, getting my hip, getting my body accustomed to taking a beating and running up and down the floor. Getting in basketball shape because we don't practice, he said. This is one of those things where I just can't take what he meant at face value. I can't take what he said so literally because I refuse to believe that the Cleveland Cavaliers just don't practice at all. We see videos of the players practicing. We see videos of players after practice doing interviews. LeBron James yesterday just did an interview after the Cavs practice saying that the reason they've been struggling so much this year is because it's been such a hard year for them with all the players in and out of the lineup, so many injuries, and always having to change the rotation.
We talk every year about the regular season, building good habits. Is that happening?
It's been very challenging, just from the simple fact of how many guys it's been in and out. This is a difficult, year for our team. It seems like I say that every year, but this one has been even more challenging. With everybody that's been out and coming back in, and the rotations and things of that nature has been very challenging on our team. But we have to figure it out. Listen, at the end of the day, we have a game every other day or every 2 days, just like everybody else in the NBA. And we have to go on and play.
So they do have practices. What I think Isaiah Thomas might have meant though is that they don't do what he calls practice. You can have all the players show up to this thing called practice and yet no one practices. Maybe practices for them are more of just shoot arounds instead of running drills, playing 5-on-5, practicing offensive and defensive schemes, things of that nature. Isaiah Thomas was used to doing things Brad Stevens' way in practice, which might have seemed more like practice to him than what Tyronn Lue calls practice with the Cleveland Cavaliers. All of that being said though, if I'm the Cavs management and I hear one of my star players come out and say, you know what, we don't practice, so I'm only going to get better at playing on the court, the coach is fired. It's as simple as that. The coach is gone. After the Thunder beat the Lakers last night 114-90 and Andre Roberson's return to the court, would you look at that? Make fun of the guy for his scoring and stat lines all you want, but he cannot score the ball at all, get no rebounds, no assists, none of that, and still have a huge impact on the game in itself. Anyways though, after the game, Carmelo Anthony once again talked about his new, quote, reduced role with the OKC Thunder as more of a spot-up shooter and a floor stretcher than the guy he was his entire career, and this is what he had to say.
Yeah, once you accept something, regardless of what it is, I think you become comfortable with it. I think you start putting your all into it, you start working, on that role and on that acceptance, and it becomes fun. I think right now, after accepting that role, and I think early in December, the game is starting to become fun again. For me, fun for us as a team, and anytime you get to make shots and winning basketball games, it makes it that much fun.
The OKC Thunder had hit a rough patch when Andre Roberson went down, but before that, they had been winning a lot of their games. And a huge reason for that was Carmelo Anthony accepting his new role. As soon as he did that, that's when the Thunder flipped the switch and looked like a good team. So it is good to hear that he is enjoying the game and enjoying his new role and isn't thinking about going back to his old self. The Houston Rockets are now claiming to be victims of false reporting when it comes to their whole locker room incident with the LA Clippers. When Trevor Ariza Ariza, Chris Paul, James Harden, and Jalen Green were all accused of storming into the LA Clippers locker room looking for Blake Griffin and Austin Rivers. You had Trevor Ariza saying, only problem that I have is all the buzz that you guys created. You guys had a lot of different stories about what happened. None of them were true. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion. The people that were there know exactly what happened. They know exactly what did not happen. Then James Harden followed this up by saying pretty much the same things that Trevor Ariza did. You got reports, I don't know who, but just saying different stories or different opinions or whatnot. 99% of them are false. We'll just leave it at that. And then Chris Paul finally saying pretty much the same thing that the other two guys said, but also saying that he was kind of at least amused by the stories.
The season's amazing.
I mean, some of them were funny. Are you amused, or is it too annoying?
Yeah, some are real funny. You know what I mean? They're real funny. You know what I mean? I don't know. They're stories. Everybody got to speculate, right?
Well, I mean, some of the memes aren't speculating.
No, I'm talking about the stories. You know what I mean? Everybody got to have a story.
So what's the real? What should people know that they don't?
It's over. It's in the past. We know that. Y'all know. Y'all was in there.
Despite their claims of being falsely reported on, the NBA still decided to hand down punishment to Trevor Ariza and Jalen Green for their part in this incident. Both those guys will be suspended for 2 games, while Chris Paul and James Harden, on the other hand, won't have any punishment at all. And after the NBA announced they were going to punish Trevor Ariza and Jalen Green, the Rockets were reportedly surprised that no one on the Clippers was punished at all, while Doc Rivers, on the other hand, wasn't surprised at all, as he said the Clippers weren't even worried because they knew they did nothing wrong.
What was your reaction to the league's ruling that none of your guys would be disciplined at all?
Oh, I didn't think we were even concerned with that. I don't think anybody we were never concerned that any of our guys would be disciplined for anything. It's legal to sit in your locker room.
Anytime you have a bunch of conflicting reports like this, it's hard to know exactly what to believe, what's true and what's not. On one hand, we have confirmation from even some of the players on the Clippers that the Rockets accused of going into the locker room were in the locker room. After that, what happened in the locker room is what we don't know as much about. As it turns out, since the NBA didn't punish James Harden or Chris Paul, they might really have been the peacekeepers in this whole situation, trying to calm guys like Trevor Ariza and Jalen Green down. And since those guys did get punished, they might have actually been the aggressors. But even then, Trevor Ariza was saying that they were being lied on, that the reports about them were false. So I really don't know what went on. So that's what I'm gonna ask you guys. What do you think happened? Do you think that Trevor Ariza was being lied on? Do you think that it was exaggerated by the media? And do you think anyone on the LA Clippers should have been punished for their role, maybe on the court, of aggravating the situation to the point where the Rockets felt like they had to go into the locker room? Let me know down in the comment section below, but now let's take a quick look at the games from last night. This game was not pretty at all. Jordan Bell got dunked on and had to be wheeled off the court pretty much right when the game started. It looked really bad, but he has been diagnosed with just a sprained ankle, and lots of players have been having those recently. Stephen Curry was also getting frustrated at first as the Bulls dropped 40 points on the Warriors in the first quarter alone. Chris Dunn hurt himself, face planted after a dunk and dislocated and cracked his front teeth. Just saying that makes me cringe. Dislocating your teeth, I don't know why, but that sounds like one of the most painful injuries that can happen to you. But despite all the theatrics this game had to offer, eventually in the second half, the Warriors started to look a little more like the Warriors as they wind up with the 119-112 win. Chicago, props to y'all though, as they just look like a really good team. They're fun to watch. Klay Thompson had the hot hand for Golden State with 38 points, hitting 7 of his 13 triple attempts, while Stephen Curry dropped 30 points as well. The Clippers have won yet again, their 6th straight win, 109-104 over the Nuggets. I can't believe they actually have a winning record. 23-21 on the year. That is insane. Montrezl Harrell played really well off the bench with 18 points, while Blake Griffin was the guy last night with 20 points and 12 rebounds. Well, there actually was one more piece of news that I forgot to mention. Kawhi Leonard is out again. The Claw is now out indefinitely as he has to start his rehab for his injured quad again. It was still bothering him, so now the Spurs just decided to shut him down, and that really sucks. I'm starting to doubt that we will actually see Kawhi play for an extended period of time this year. The Spurs were still able to beat the Nets last night, though 100-95, thanks to LaMarcus Aldridge dropping 34 points and Patty Mills on fire off the bench, scoring 25 and hitting 7 of his 8 triple attempts. The Raptors beat the Pistons 96-91 as Detroit continues to regress without their starting point guard, and it just seems like this is the story for the Pistons every single year now. As soon as things start going well, our starting point guard gets injured and things don't go so well anymore. But last night, it was a battle of the centers. Jonas Valanciunas versus Andre Drummond. And Andre Drummond might have won the statistical battle with 25 points and 17 rebounds, but Jonas's team won the war as he contributed 17 points and 16 rebounds. After dropping their last game, the Heat put themselves right back in striking distance from the Cleveland Cavaliers for the number 3 seed in the East. They beat the Bucks 106-101 and are still now just 1 game behind the Cavs for that coveted 3rd seed. Whiteside was dominant last night with 27 points, 13 rebounds, while Giannis had 22 points and 10 rebounds from Milwaukee. As much as I like Luke Kennard as a player and think he's going to be really good one day once he gets the chance, every time I see Donovan Mitchell play, I wonder what he would look like wearing a Pistons jersey. Then again, who knows if he would even be as good as a Piston, since SVG really doesn't give rookies that big of an opportunity to show what they can do. D. Mitch was great for the Jazz last night as he dropped 34 points in Utah's 120-105 win over the Kings. Another fight broke out in the NBA yesterday. Michael Carter Williams versus Tim Frazier. 3 days, 3 fights. Will the streak continue today? Can we get to 4? Anyways, though, after both those guys were ejected, Charlotte actually got the win, and maybe they won't trade Kemba. They've been playing really good yesterday. It is not too late for them to make a run of the AC. The final score in this one was 133-109. Once again, thanks to Dwight Howard playing like an all-star. 18 points, 15 rebounds for the big man, and it's actually good to see him having some success again in his career. Even though they didn't have Marc Gasol, the Grizzlies were still somehow able to beat the Knicks last night. The Knicks were on the verge of making a run to take the lead and maybe even win the game in the 4th quarter, but after Courtney Lee picked up an interesting technical foul, it put an end to their hopes of winning this game. And after the game, Lee was upset that he got a tech at all, saying, "I'm lost for words. I wasn't expecting a tech for that. I wasn't even talking to the ref. I was talking to the rookie, and nothing was said that shouldn't have even been a technical foul. I've been in the league for 10 years. I've heard every convo with someone being heated. I've heard 10 times way worse things than what were said between me and Brooks. He must not have gotten the memo. The refs have the power to tee you up just because they don't like the way your breath smells this year." 105-99 the final score. Anthony Davis seemed a lot more than just human yesterday after playing outside of his mind the past couple of games. Only 8 points on 2 of 8 shooting for 80 in this one. Guess he just was gassed after his last couple of games as the Hawks beat the Pelicans 94-93 on a Kent Bazemore jumper with a couple seconds left to go in the game. Bazemore with 20 points on the night, while Schroeder had a career high in assists with 15. That wraps up all the action from last night, though. Don't forget to vote for the player of the day. Just remember, the only players whose team won are eligible to win player of the day. Yesterday, the player of the day was Anthony Davis with his 45 points and 16 rebounds. Thank you guys so much for watching, though. Make sure to smack that like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel, join the quest to 200K, hashtag a milli in a year, and to stay updated with everything that goes on in the NBA on a daily basis. But I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.